Hello everyone and welcome to Maximum Dad Gaming, and today we're going to start a new series on Frostpunk. This game I've been waiting for some time. I was very excited about it when I first heard that it was coming out because it looks very cool, and let me assure you it is very cool. Now, if you've been following this game for any amount of time, you've probably seen like Quill 18 and Skystorm play and maybe like I think Sips is one of the other guys that played it, one of the other people that played it. And so you kind of know what it's about, but for those of you who don't, it's a game set in the steampunk kind of 1880s alternate timeline England, and the world has been covered by an ash cloud that blots out the sun. I think that's the official canon. But anyways, temperatures are dropping, and so your goal is to build a small city in a crater-like area, and forage for food, scout surrounding areas for materials, and collect resources to survive the oncoming storm. So, yeah, I've really been looking forward to this, and I've played a little bit, just enough to unlock the second scenario, because the first scenario is what the preview streamers and YouTubers have done. So I'm gonna do the second one, and as you can see, I've played around in the first couple days, but we're gonna go ahead and start a new one. So it's the Arks. So this one, as the brightest minds of Oxford and Cambridge, we have been sent to save priceless seed and plant specimens from the eternal winter. Do we have what it takes to keep the seedling Arks safe? So we're going to go ahead and start. It's just on medium difficulty because I'm not that good yet. So our goal here is we're going to have like 3 or 4 buildings that we need to keep at a minimum temperature in order to keep the seedlings inside that apparently house all plant life for us to repopulate after the winter for the planet. So we need to keep them at a minimum temperature so that the seedlings don't freeze and die. So not only will we have to keep our citizens warm and safe, but we'll also have to keep these buildings that house the seedlings warm and safe as well. So it's a little extra added challenge. And I believe for this one, we start out with 45 engineers. The previous scenario, you started out with a bunch of workers, some regular workers, and some engineers. The seedling Arks. We've been chosen to safeguard a priceless treasure, the seeds and seedlings of plants from all over the world. They've been deposited in seedling Arks to stop them from freezing, but it falls to us to build a city to protect these precious buildings until the winter ends, however long that may be. The only way to do this is with automatons. We'll ensure the green earth is reborn, even if we aren't there to witness it. Ooh, let's get to work. So, in this scenario, you can see the layout is going to be a little bit different. We got a bunch of wood to eventually get into, and here these buildings are the Arks. So, factory plans. We've reached the generator site, and the seedlings are safely stored in their seedling Arks. We were supposed to deploy automatons to make sure the city can run itself no matter the weather, but the transport carrying the factory plans was lost in a blizzard. We need to build a beacon and send a team to search for it. Okay, so I'm going to pause right away. So, these buildings are the seedling Arks. So we got 4 of them, right? As you can see, they're at different distances away from our generator. So obviously this one will be the one to kind of keep an eye on because it'll get colder sooner than the other 3. So yeah, so let's see what this thing does. Preserve the seedlings. We must ensure that the seedling Arks don't freeze. All the seedlings and many of the tropical seeds are very sensitive to the cold. If the temperature in any seedling Ark falls below chilly for too long, its precious contents will be irreversibly damaged. I see. So we definitely don't want that to happen. So, I think what we want to do here is we don't need to worry about homes just yet, although we will get to that. So I think what we want to do is we want coal right away. So I'm going to build a gathering post down here. I'm going to build it just far enough so that it's as close to the generator as possible, but it's also also that it hits these 2 coal piles. So I'll put this, and I know I'll get rid of some trees, but we should be fine as far as trees go. I think right off the bat, though, wood is our biggest... wood and coal are our biggest needs. So I'm going to put another gathering hut here. And that's all the resources we have available for that. So we'll do a road there. And then a road here. So that used up all our wood. So we're going to put 15 gatherers there. We need some steel later. And then we also need some coal. And we do have one automaton. But what I'm going to save that for is because we need... Now, automatons need coal to run. I don't know if they use up coal just doing nothing and idling. But when you have them working somewhere, they will use up coal to run. And so they repower themselves from your generator. But if your generator isn't going, which we don't need to have it going just yet, we've got some time. We've got about 4 days until the temperature starts to drop. So that's when we'll want to get the generator going and some housing up. Excuse me. That's what we'll want to do. And then first thing we'll do Book of Laws. I want to do emergency shift. We're not going to use it, but I want it for the extended shift. I want this to be our next one because it's going to help us get resources in the beginning. So let's go ahead and speed it up while these things get built. So wood and coal are our main priorities now. So the automaton will help with building. So don't need to worry about that. So I have 10 people here, or 15 here, 15 here, 15 here. So let's take the 15 off here because it's the same. It's the coal pile, and this gathering hut has only access to these 2 coal piles. So we'll put the 15 there. We do have 5 available, so we'll put 5 back here. Now, what I want to do is set up a sawmill and put my automaton working there. So we'll do this. We'll put 10 people there. But we don't have access to the sawmill just yet because that is a technology. So we need to build workshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a workshop. Now to rotate buildings, you just middle click. So here you can see it's not as tall, and here it's taller but not as wide. So I'm gonna do like I'm planning on the first 2 rows at least of houses. And houses are this tall, I guess, or this deep. So 1, 2 rows, and then 3 just for miscellaneous buildings. So right here is where I'm going to put my first workshop. Because what is the limiting factor in the early game of expansion? We should have enough steel just passively coming in by having a group of engineers work on the steel wreckage. But mainly, and I do want to build up a reserve of coal right away. So let's put these 5 here, and then we want a sawmill right off the bat. And then I want to provide shelter for everyone. So it's a quest that you get early on if you haven't built any houses right away to house everybody. We don't need to do that yet. They'll be fine for about a couple of days, 2 days. Wisdom of the crowd. Captain, when facing demands, remember this. People usually look for the quickest solution, not the best one. You don't have to agree to everything they ask for. If you fix the problem your way, it's fine. So I'll bear that in mind. So we got our workshop going. Got nobody working there. Now the reason why I did just the people themselves gathering from this deposit is because these ones are all grouped together, and I'll put a gathering post here later. But I do want... So I'm going to take these off here. I'll put them here. And I guess I could have an automaton working. So we'll do that until we have the sawmill going. The heating is off. No way, you don't say. The generator's off. People are afraid they'll freeze to death in their sleep if you don't at least turn it on for the night. Of course. So I think, okay, let's turn it on for the night then. And then let's get a couple of houses or tents going. 1, 2. That'll be fine. And maybe I wanted to put the automaton on one of these wood piles, because again, I need wood to expand. In fact, let's do that. Let's do off and on here. So we got that going. Let's speed it up a little bit. Once we get established, I'll start doing 3-speed. But in the early game, it's important to like make sure you do everything correctly. Now, we don't have enough wood for a medical post, but we do want to put one in because we have a couple people sick. And people get sick when they get cold. So this area is livable. So that's fine. Introduce a new law. Extended shift. Sign. So, work shift can be extended to 14 hours. So I'm going to do that for my workshop because we need to get research going. And I'm going to do it for the gathering huts. Just because like we need resources as quickly as we can get them. I'll do that here as well. And we can make a medical post. So we'll do one there. We are out of wood, yes, I know, but we are getting more. Slowly but slowly. So here's our main quest. We need to research and build the beacon, which we will. Find the factory plans. So that involves scouting once we build the beacon and once we get a scout team going. But for this one, provide shelter. So we need 3 more houses because each house can only hold 10 people, or tent, or bunkhouse, and then house, or the 3 levels. But each dwelling can hold 10 people, and as far as I've seen, there's no way to really upgrade that. So 10 people is 10 people in each dwelling, and that's it. So that's the deal. So here you can see the automaton, I think, is going to refill itself. So you can see it kind of sidling up to the generator there and plugging his leg in there to siphon coal, I guess. Let's see. Let's take the 5 off here and put them in the medical post. And we'll have plenty of... So once this pile gets depleted, which should be the first one, we got 24 steel left. Well, first let's do our houses. 2, 3. And then we're going to need a... Do I not have enough wood for that? So let's speed it up. And I do want to get another workshop going, so let's do that now. Put it right here. Because again, we want research going quickly, rather quickly. Now, automatons pretty much work 24 hours a day. So, really, I think the goal in any game... Let's pause it really quickly. Really, the goal in any game, at least so far what I've seen, is that you want to get automaton production going as quickly as you can. Especially on workplaces that are farther out from your generator. As soon as you can. So, it's nice that we start out with one. So, sawmill... Let's see, let's put it... Let's put the sawmill there. And then let's bring the road up from here and then over. And then we'll... What do we want to do next? We don't need the beacon right away. We don't need heaters right away, but we will need them soon. I kind of want to do faster gathering. I think just so we can get these piles done with. So let's do that. We got our houses going. Those should be built fairly soon. Coal, we're good on coal. We're gathering enough coal to be fine. Steel wreckage just got depleted. So now I put them on the other steel pile. Okay, so people get done working, that's when they start building stuff. So now we should see, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then put our 5 here. Okay, pause, because we need new research. Put the extended shift here. Faster gathering. We need to get the hothouse going ASAP. Do I want... The sucky thing is we don't get hunters' huts. But we need food going. And then speaking of food, whoops. I need cookhouse. So let's get rid of this road here. Put a cookhouse there. So faster gathering will help, just because we just need as much of an influx of supplies as we can get. Wood crates depleted. Okay, he's gonna go amble over here and help build. Just fine. So we do need these houses built. And then I'm going to put the automaton in this sawmill. What's this? Introduce a new law. Let's go with soup. Because soup kind of stretches our food a little thinner. Yeah. So it gives more meals from the same amount of food. Now, discontent rises and hope falls a little bit, but that should be offset by these two houses going in next a little bit. And so let's put Otto, that's what I'm calling him, our automaton, there. And once the cookhouse gets built, we'll take 5 engineers off this pile, put them in there. Speed it up. So one thing I like, but I also dislike at the same time, is that when an event happens, it automatically goes down to normal game speed, which is great because, except for that, but like most events, when that happens, it goes down to normal game speed, which gives you time to kind of, it doesn't necessarily pause, which is fine, but it gives you kind of, slows everything down and gives you time to react. But then after you're done doing that thing, you have to manually come up here and change the time back, which is the part I don't like. But like, I don't see how you can, like, I get why I can't do that, why it doesn't automatically go back. I just don't like it. But that doesn't take away from my, or doesn't take away much from my overall enjoyment of the game so far. And I am enjoying this game quite a bit so far. So, what do I want to do next? I think I'm going to put in another workshop. Now, 4 is kind of the maximum amount of workshops you want because, so my understanding, you put one workshop in, it's 100% efficiency. You put another workshop in, it's 100. Both of those two combined are 150, so it goes by half. And then the third workshop in puts it at like 180 or 175% efficient. So it's not all like additive, or I don't know if multiplicative would be the correct word, but like it's not a flat rate that gives you more efficiency. So by the time you get to your 5th workshop, it just doesn't give you any more efficiency. So like this would be 100% extra, this would be like 50% extra, this would be 25% extra. So it's like, and then your 4th one would be like 12 and a half, I guess. I don't know the exact numbers, but it works something similar to that mechanic. And then if you add a 5th one, it just doesn't add any more because it doesn't go, that doesn't work like that. So our wood's coming in, and again, that's like one of our main limiting factors. We've got a cookhouse going. We've got a medical post. We may want to put another medical post in soon. But that takes away 5 workers from... But this one's almost... we got 57 more to go. Let's add another gathering post here. Again, I want to put it as close to the generator as I can. Put it right there. Take the 5 off here. Put them in here. That way we can really get it. Now, I think I'm going to stop there just because our workforce is going to be very limited. Let's turn this back to regular. Now we got a sawmill going. We don't need wood quite as fast, and I don't need as much people working. The little bump in hope and fall in discontent is worth it to. Is worth the less 4-hour workday. So. So these little icons tell you like why people aren't working, and so the yellow bar tells you how efficient that particular workplace is. Okay, start new research. Let's get a hothouse going. Because the last one I was fuffing about, the last game I was playing, I started running out of food, and I assumed that I could build hunters' huts. But then when I just looked at this, I realized that the hunters' huts are completely missing. So hothouse will be the only way, other than scouting, and I haven't scouted all that much, is the only way we can get our own food. So we need to do that. But I do want heaters. Okay, so we're going to discover hothouse in about 5 hours. That's fine. Oh, I hope I'm going to make it. Because I also want to get the building heaters going. These heaters going. Because that'll help with the arcs as well. And we've got a temperature drop coming up. But it's one level. The second level drop will be the one we really need to worry about. So we need to prepare for that. Why is this at 20%? Oh, because we had 4 people building a building that were actually working here. So we'll turn this building off. Introduce new law. We want the fighting arena. We won't need it just yet. Actually, why not? So most of our houses are 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll put it right there. Because I'm going from this road, and you can see, like, if you zoom in a little bit, you can see how when you put it somewhere, like, see those wider green lines? That tells you if I were to place a building here, if I were to place it there of the same building size, that would tell me where that next building would go, if that makes any sense. So I'm kind of using that as a guide. So I think that's fine. And then we'll just do this right here, because living people hungry. But all they need to do here is come here for food, and or maybe to this place. But they shouldn't be hungry for very long, is what I'm saying. There are places they can go to get food. So hothouse is almost done. Where's all my workers? So you can hover your mouse over this area here to tell you where your workers are working. So we want heaters. Let's do that. So if I zoom out a little bit, so it can tell me where all my workers are at. So I got 10 here and 10 here. So most workers are where I need them to be. Okay. Where do I want to put my hothouses? Well, I think since I'm making the decision, let's put it right here. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Yeah, because we're gonna start losing our workforce. Order of advice: steam cores. We have just used our first steam core. Steam cores are a necessary component in advanced technology. We can't manufacture steam cores in the city, so let's hope our scouts find them during their expeditions. And you need steam cores for building automatons as well. So they are quite important. When, in fact, probably one of the most important resources you could get in Frostpunk. So we definitely want to make it a priority to get as many as we can as quickly as we can. It would behoove us to do so. So we will. Okay, these deposits are almost depleted. We're good on coal for now. I mean, obviously coal is one of those things that it's a very important resource because obviously our generator and automatons run on coal. So it's always something to kind of keep in mind as you build, but we've got enough now, but I don't want to neglect it for very long. Got enough wood. Yeah, I'm kind of debating whether or not to build another medical post, but I need to staff it. And like they don't provide me any resources, but I do have sick people, but not enough to warrant another. So I don't want to take 5 engineers off of someplace else and put it in something that doesn't give me resources back, especially if I don't have enough sick people to warrant another medical post. So that's the deal with that. Now, next thing I want to do after doing the heaters is I do want to build a beacon because we need to get scouts going out. So, So the temperature is about to drop once the morning hits. And the morning, so it's about like 7 o'clock, I think. And it slows down at 5 in the morning because I think like that's when the people for the overtime shift or that's when they leave for work, so it slows down. And see, once it hits 7, the temperature is going to start to drop. See, there we go. So let's take stock of. So as long as we keep the Arks chilly or above, they'll be fine. But I don't know if this temperature is indicative of like sometimes the temperature affects things like right away and other times it doesn't. So you may need to let the game run a little bit in order for you to determine. And it looks like that, yes, this is the temperature things are at. So, and yes, I am a filthy imperial measurement person. I tried doing Celsius for all my games. I just have a better concept of understanding with Fahrenheit. That's all it is. Like I want to understand Celsius, but for some reason I just get a better idea of what the temperature is actually like with Fahrenheit, which makes sense because outside of like the scientific community, it makes sense that, you know, as a human being, 100 degrees is really hot, 0 degrees is really cold. And that's about the, you know, range of temperatures that you're going to be dealing with usually in your life. So it makes it more, I guess, applicable, or it makes it just easier to comprehend instantly. I'm not against Celsius, I just understand Fahrenheit better, and I prefer to use Fahrenheit. Again, like I've tried to force myself to do Celsius, but it doesn't have the same like impact on me as Fahrenheit does. I know I'm a terrible person. So, but you know, I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna take 5 people off here. Oh, and then I'm gonna take 5 people off here, so we can get some food going. Because I know if I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget. And anyways, this coal pile depleted anyway, so... And this one's almost done as well. So we'll move these 5 off here and onto this one. And you know what? I think that's a good place to call it for this episode. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Frostpunk. Next time we'll get the beacon going and send out some scout parties so we can discover the surrounding areas and hopefully find some more automatons, more steam cores. Oh, there we go. So be sure to join us next time. If you enjoyed what you saw, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I really hope that you do. And if you didn't like what you saw, well, I'll try to do better next time. And until next time, I'll see you then. Same dad time, same dad channel. Thanks very much.